Hey guys, so the number two prospect right now for Major League Baseball is Ronald Acuna Jr. He's an outfielder in the Braves organization, and I always get really excited when we see someone kind of coming up that looks like they're going to be really awesome. That is not very big because it kind of shows us the aggression that most average size humans need to swing with in order to hit the ball a long ways and really be successful at any level that you might play at. So, like I said, Acuna's not very big. He's 6 foot 180. So it's really important for him that he be really really aggressive with his swing, and his rotation is really really efficient. His barrel turn is really really efficient, and if you're you know a 9-year-old kid, it's definitely a swing that you want to look at and try to emulate because there's a lot of amazing things going on here. So first off, I want to just talk about his leg lift and how he's kind of able to delay his forward moves. So you'll see that when Acuna lifts, he kind of just lifts up and he kind of like flamingo. So he's not going forward right away. He lifts up and then he slides his body forward and his hip out, and you'll see nice wrinkles in his jersey right there across his midsection with his belly button open and his chest closed. This really allows him to use his core and his lower half to grab his barrel and just absolutely spin it into the zone and just crush this ball. Another thing that you're going to see here too is that about halfway through his swing, he's able to get his barrel and his front forearm parallel, which is something that a lot of younger hitters struggle to accomplish, and even some big league hitters don't do that great a job with it, but he does an amazing job with it, and he really turns that barrel through the zone really nicely. A lot of things that, or a lot of times people miss the idea that you also need to have your bat in the way of the ball, not just on plane. So when we talk about plane, that basically means like, the height the ball is coming in, but we also need to turn our barrel into the path of the pitch. So one thing that Acuna does a really good job of is right back here behind his hip, the barrel turns around and intersects the plane or the path of the ball, and it stays there for a long period of time. You'll also notice how far he turns his shoulders. You'll see that his shoulders turn and they're almost over the pitcher's head, and he pulls his back knee up under his body so that way he doesn't have to stretch very far through his hip flexor in order to turn his shoulders that far. So if he were to pull his knee a little further, he could rotate even better, and you'll see in some of the other swings that we look at of him that he is able to do that. But just an amazing swing. I think he's going to be really good for a long time. So got to be excited for the Braves fans that they finally got one that's going to really be doing some awesome things. So this is just a BP swing, but I think that this is a really good example of what I was talking about with his rotation. So look at how far his back hip travels. So his back hip goes way in front of his front hip. Sorry, I meant for that to be an arrow. His back hip goes way in front of his front hip, and then his front hip moves backwards. I'm going to show you that one more time. So boom. So he's rotating his pelvis and his spine as fast as he can. And you also notice that his shoulders are pointed over the pitcher's head, like so, in a complete rotation. You can see in this swing he's doing that very, very comfortably because he's able to pull this back knee forward. The further the back knee is forward, the more comfortably you can rotate. Now, obviously, you don't want your back knee so far forward that you fall on your butt, but you do want to have this lean finish like he has. You can kind of see he's leaning on that back leg. You can see his front foot is almost popped up a little bit, and he's really balancing on that back leg. That part's really, really important. So Acuna just has a lot of awesome stuff going on, and I think he's going to be really good for a long time. I know that's like the fifth time I've said that, but so one of the things that I'm always trying to do here is give a nice comparison of someone who has been really successful for a while. So we're going to look at Hanley Ramirez and kind of compare Acuna's swing to what Hanley's swing is. This was from a couple of years back. This is in the World Baseball Classic, but this is one of my favorite Hanley swings. And I want to just compare one specific part of their swing. So you'll notice that their load is very, very similar. So when Acuna lifts, he lifts up and he kind of hesitates, like I called it flamingoing earlier. And you'll notice that Hanley kind of does the same thing. Acuna's leg is back a little bit further when he does it, like this, and Hanley's is more out in front of him. But what you'll see is that they both kind of hesitate with their leg in the air, so they have the ability to delay their forward move if they need to. And they both do a great job of controlling this move. Now, this is a pretty advanced move, and it's not super easy for a kid to learn this, but it's certainly not something that you should shy away from trying to teach. You just got to be not afraid of failing, or not afraid of your kid, swinging and missing one time. So you also notice how far Hanley rotates his shoulders, like we talked about, how far he pulls his knee. You can kind of see it's pretty close to a straight line from his knee all the way up to his head. And his hips are really, really well rotated. And this is a lot of the same stuff that we see Acuna do over here. So hopefully, as Hanley has had a really nice career, hopefully Acuna can follow suit and do something really similar. Definitely pulling for him. I'd like to see the Braves be a really good baseball team again.